Let me bring her in here. Come on in, everybody. There we go. Okay, so hold
Hi.
on a second. You guys are good. We're good.
I'm
Awesome.
good.
Okay, so I see it. We're good. We're all
We
good.
we both got the black and white shirt memo.
I know we got the black and white theme going on. How did we know this? We didn't even like plan this. We are heading over to Instagram, you guys. Welcome. I see people coming in. Yay, this is gonna be so much fun. So looking forward to this because I have so many questions. Anyway, let's redo this whole introduction thing. My brain was this morning, you guys. I have been crazily getting ready, and I was telling TikTok this morning. I literally am pulling off my grandmother's attire.
I love
She
it.
wore this exact same thing, but I forget. I'm not even her age yet. I'm just like I think she was 40 when she wore this, and I'm like I'm not even there yet. Don't jinx it, okay? Don't jinx it. But I love the old black and white style back in those days. Remember like how they were this was so different. Like usually the collar was even the same color as everything, but no. I love how they had the bold bright colors in back in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, the 90s were fun. I was probably your age in the 90s.
You don't even look that old. I swear we've met before. Were you at Elvis Week just this
Yes,
last?
I remember seeing you at Elvis Week last year for sure, but I don't think we got a chance to
Because
really
I
talk. There were so many
ended up
people
having to
around.
leave early, and that was my fault. You guys, come on in, welcome in. We have you guys coming in here today. We are doing our Sunday coffee talk over here on Instagram this time for the people who are just coming in, letting people know. Grab your coffees.
I
Yes,
got my
I always have.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, I've never.
I'm
See, you're
I'm
in
up here. I'm
Canada,
up here
though.
in Canada, so I
Yes,
had
you're in
to
Canada. I just got a
represent.
plain old. Yes, and this is so cool because last two times I had, one was from the UK and one is also at UK, but she's from England. So it's like I'm getting you guys all over the world where the Elvis never got a chance to actually come to
Well,
you guys' area at all.
it came to
Well,
it came to mine. He played two shows, Toronto and Ottawa. Those are the only two
yes,
cities he played outside
awesome.
of the
I'm so
States.
glad. I am so glad he made it up to where you are because some people don't get the chance to see all the Elvis places, but we're going to talk about that as far as where you've been because I know you've been all over the place from what I've seen on your Instagram reels, your all that stuff. You have been even to the coolest places that I have not even yet been. And I only, like I said, live 2 hours away from Memphis and I just still have not gotten there yet, but I'm planning on getting out there. Anyway, let's get this party rocking and rolling. Good morning. Welcome in everybody on this Sunday morning coffee talk. We are talking to an amazing friend of mine. Now, she has this tiny thing that we have to talk about, and it's right back there. And I hope I'm saying your name right. It's Heidi, and how do you say your last name?
Cafe.
Athays. Heidi Athays. And we're talking to her. She also has a little company that is TinyGraceland, which is also the coolest thing. I cannot wait to talk to you about that because I have an obsession with little teeny tiny things and little
Me too.
tiny miniature stuff. And I've got to know what this is why I brought you on here because I love this because Graceland is one of my first fascinations. Of course, who wouldn't love the man and love Graceland? But more importantly, how in the heck did you get something mini like that tiny from something magnificent? Like his house is huge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's pretty small. I mean, it's taken 4 years, and I'm probably about two-thirds of the way done. So it definitely wasn't quick.
Holy cow, that is beautiful though. That is beautiful. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. You're gonna tell people about how you got into Elvis. That's our staple question around here is how you
Okay.
got into Elvis and mainly just the beginning, starting where you're from. We will talk more about the tiny houses because that's my obsession in a little bit. But I just love how that is so cute. Do you even have little cars? Is that a little car?
No,
No.
no little cars yet. No,
Oh,
it's kind of messy around here. And this is the
oh, it's in
basement.
front of. I
I'm
thought that
working
was
on the
like your.
basement, and then the house is back there, a little
Oh my
further back,
goodness,
because
that is
I'm working on the
beautiful.
basement right
Sorry, I thought I saw a little I
No,
thought
I
there was a
haven't done
little
any cars
garage.
yet, but I probably will eventually. But no
That's
cars
so
yet.
cool. Well, anyway, take it away. I'll let you introduce
My,
yourself.
my name's Heidi. I'm a massive Elvis fan. Obviously, I think you'd have to be to do this for so long.
Yeah.
I got into Elvis. My first record when I was 5 years old, my mom gave me was Elvis Sings for Children and Grown-Ups Too. It's a fun little record that has a bunch of kind of some of the sillier movie songs on it for that appeal to kids, like Old MacDonald Had a Farm, which
Exactly.
is really
Exactly.
kids. I think are the only people who probably like that that version. But anyway, I loved it, and I used to love Old Shep when I was like 5, and I used to beg my mother to play it, and then I would cry and beg her to stop playing it, and then she'd stop it, and I'd beg her to play it again.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my first introduction. But I wasn't really a big, Elvis was always around, but I wasn't like a massive fan until I was about 19 years old, back in 1995, and I went to Graceland for. I was a film student actually, and I went to Graceland with my friends to make a little documentary because we heard that that these crazy Elvis fans do this vigil thing, on the anniversary of Elvis's death. And not being Elvis fans ourselves, we thought this sounded absolutely crazy because it's been so many years since the man died, and we were going to make a little doc about it, and essentially not to make fun of it, but as outsiders, we were like, this is nuts, and we were going to film these crazy people. But when we got there, we went to see Graceland first, which blew my mind. I've always loved everything vintage anyways, and like
Me.
Graceland's just such an amazing time capsule. But then on
Yes.
the night of the vigil, when everyone was back then, there was just a strip mall across the street. And on Elvis Week, they still do this a little, but in '95, like the whole street, everybody's sitting on the road. And there was all these people sitting on the road, and everybody was crying, and there were people of all different ages crying, and it just really moved me so much, like that one human being could affect so many people so many years after his passing. And after that, when I got home, I just dove straight into it. I read everything I could, I listened to everything I could, I watched all the movies, and I've been just a
That
massive
is
fan ever since.
so cool. How long does it take you to come down? Because in 94, 95 ish, you were how like long of a distance
Well, in
from?
'95, I took a train. Yeah, I haven't done that since. That was like 16 hours, I think. You had to take a train to
16
Chicago
hours
and
you
then
took a
another
train.
train.
That is
Yeah. Yeah,
incredible.
but
That is
nowadays, if I fly, unfortunately, there used to be direct
yeah.
flights from Toronto to Memphis. They don't exist anymore, so now it takes like all day because you got to switch. But if we drive,
Oh,
sometimes my husband and I drive down to Graceland, and we take 8 hours to Ohio to stay with my family, and then we do a second day down to Memphis. So it's far. If
wow, that
it was
is
any closer,
crazy.
I'd be there like every
Yes,
weekend. But
I could imagine, but it's the people like you and other people like I just talked with the lady who came from the UK. I mean, that was a 9 hour flight for her just to come over here.
right,
And I'm
yeah.
like, 9 hours? Like, you just want to come. I live 2 hours and I don't even go see him all the time.
Think
And it's
about people
like, I,
who come from Australia, like the
yes,
friend from Elvis Week who comes from Australia for Elvis Week almost every year. Like that's a
yep,
lot. It's a
that's
far
how
way to
you
go.
do it. That is
That's
how you
love.
do it. It is. It's the
Yeah,
love that you get. And you don't get that a lot of times from some of the fans around, like just regular artists. Like,
yeah.
I meet a lot of people, like, that was my first time ever being at Elvis Week. And it was something fascinating because I got to learn so many people and see so many people from different countries that I didn't think Elvis got over to any of these countries, especially Argentina. This lady comes over with a group of 10 people from Argentina and just to do Elvis Week. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what I love.
That's
I love seeing
wild.
these original Elvis fans come over here and just have to be here and be in love with the man. That's incredible. I
There's a
do. I
huge
absolutely
fan base in Brazil. I know they have a ton of fan
Brazil's
clubs
another
down there.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
All over the world. I mean, everywhere. It's
Yes, he's
extraordinary.
really he's cool. So he's one of the most influential artists from when I've studied music. I mean, I love studying. I studied music history in college, and I absolutely loved how he could just captivate music from rock and roll, gospel, rhythm and blues, and all this
All
in
the
one concert,
country.
all in one concert. Yes, and I don't understand how a lot of artists nowadays don't take inspiration from that because he did different genres in one music sitting. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. Actually, you don't really see that very
No.
much otherwise. Certainly, most artists, I think, take some influence from him in some way. Like as you
Yes.
know, as an Elvis fan, especially when your eyes are open to it because you love him so much. I mean, people
Yes.
say Elvis is everywhere, but it's the truth. I mean, in everything, in fashion, and in music, and movies, and in
Yes.
everything. He's probably the most pop culture influential artist that ever existed. So,
Yes, he was.
mhm.
And on top of that, not a lot of artists, like for instance, the big bands like Led Zeppelin are the Eagles. They don't eat. They're still classified as one rock genre, whereas Elvis is
Yeah.
multiple rock genres. This guy, I love talking to people about Elvis. I
And the
really do.
evolution too, eh? Like the changes.
Yes.
Oh, I just said, "Hey, I'm Canadianifying myself," but but yeah, like the the evolution just in such a short time. I mean, what is it, 20 years, right? And to have so many, people talk about the eras and stuff, but
Yes.
it really is like Elvis in 1956 it's like two completely different artists, and as to his later time, it's
I
just it's
think.
wild. Different voice, different music, different costumes,
Well,
different everything.
since you really weren't a fan of his, what made you see him in a different light? Because I mean, when I was growing up, Viva Las Vegas was definitely my set. Like I looked at that back now, and I'm like, that's where I see it. Because from when I wasn't a fan, Viva Las Vegas set it for me. What about you? What do you see, or what set you?
What set me was the people. That's what I'm saying. Like, because
Oh,
when I was, and I've been a fan since I was 19. I'm 49
yeah,
now, so I put in some
yeah,
time.
yes. So have I. I mean, we
but
both have.
but yeah, it really was. What
It's the
first struck me
people.
was the fans, and
Oh,
then when I came back, actually, the first book I read was a book called Dead Elvis by Grail Marcus,
yes.
and
I
it's
have.
yeah,
Not a very yeah.
and it's really not so much about Elvis as it is about, like, it's from Elvis from the time of his death until I think it was written in '91,
Yeah.
and just about the phenomenon of the culture's love and the world's love for Elvis and how it's influenced so many things. And that's where I started. And that's really where I started. I started with more of the phenomenon was really what was most interesting to me. And then
Awesome.
through there, of course, I got exposed to all the music and the movies, which are all awesome. I love it all. Like I love all the music, all the eras. Although the older I get, the more I seem to gravitate more towards the '70s stuff. But I do love it
70s,
all.
that's me too. I'm a 70s kid. I love that.
But I love most of the movies. Like I always want to say I love all the movies, but there are a few that are really I mean, I will watch them because Elvis is in them, but there are a few that
Yes.
are really don't have a lot of redeeming qualities. But most of them, like there's a lot of really silly ones that I still really love. I love most of them. Yeah.
That is so cool because most people say, oh, so it's the music, it's the movies. You went off on totally the fans. That is so cool because it is the love of other people that make a fan base better when you have a big group of people like at Elvis Week. When I was down there 3 days before the visual even happened, I was like, oh my goodness, this is the coolest group of people to be around. It really
Yeah.
was. It was. I don't know.
But
I never
that's
went to
just
an
it. That step that comes from him in full circle, and that's what I mean by the phenomenon of the love that people still have. Is because
yeah.
that all comes from, like, what he projected to people was love and generosity, and, as you know,
Yes.
and the way that he loved his fans so much and appreciated them so much. Like sometimes I was saying to someone the other day that it's like I think as Elvis fans, we feel like he loves us, even though he's like long gone, and it's like a reciprocal
Yes, it
love, which I don't
is.
think, and obviously that's
Yeah.
projection on our part
Yeah.
because the man is gone, I don't know of another fan base that has that kind of reciprocal feeling, and it's
I
because
really can't
he
think of
did
that either.
in everything, every day that he lived, he was always so grateful to his fans, and tried to treat everyone with such love, and that resonates. Like how many years after he's gone, it's such a beautiful
It
thing.
is. And that's why I don't, that's what a lot of people don't realize is Elvis needs to get out there more when it's for the fan base, not just music base or rock and roll base. That's what everybody thinks he just generally is. He's just a singer. No, he's not. He's more than a singer. We are doing a quick little dive into this tiny stuff. So now my
Okay.
obsession started with the little tiny stuff that I used to collect, like little miniature dolls and stuff like that. But what made you want to scale down the biggest, like I said, the biggest tourist attraction in the world down to this little teeny tiny scale? That is beautiful.
Well, I too, I've always loved many things. Like my mom used to have little teeny tiny knickknacks on her
Yes.
dresser, on her vanity, and I would just go and play with them. She'd be like, "Don't touch
Yes.
those," because I was gonna drop them. But yeah, she had little bunnies, all kinds of things, and I've always been obsessed with tiny things, anyways. And then this was started in 2021. It was a pandemic project. So, I'm a very creative person. I did all sorts of other things. I don't have time for it anymore. But I
Yes.
used to knit and draw and do all sorts of other things. But so yeah, I wanted a long-term creative project. I wanted to do something with Elvis, and then I like I said, I love minis, so I thought I
Yes.
could combine the two. And but I really started, like, it was just a sort of a silly thought, like what if I tried? So I started with like a cardboard mock-up, and I made an Instagram just so that my mom could see it because we couldn't see
Yeah.
each other in person during the pandemic, and I had no idea that it would lead to making like so many friends
Yes.
and going to. I hadn't been to Elvis weeks before that, like. I'd been to Graceland a few times, but I had never been to a
Never been
proper. Well,
to an Elvis
I mean, I
weekend.
did say in '95 I was at the
Yeah.
visual, but back then I didn't even know that
You didn't
was
even know
Elvis.
it was
Like,
the,
yeah,
yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. That
But
makes
now
sense.
I've been to the birthday. I've been, and it's really changed my life. This whole project and all the wonderful community I've gotten to be a part of now.
I can
That
imagine how like that would be so cool because I also saw on a lot of, I follow you for pretty much this whole time I've been following you.
thank you.
You have been to you saw Priscilla, was it? You also met who else was else there? There was a bunch there was
I went to see Priscilla like a few weeks ago. That was really wonderful for me. That was
Lil Hayes and the Hayes them too. Those were another one, right?
yeah.
Or
I've met them.
was
I've met a ton of people now. Like I've just through Elvis Week and stuff like that.
yes.
But like Linda and Ginger and um, actually, one of my favorite things was meeting some of the musicians that Elvis played with, like last year at Elvis Week. Like Gene, my brain
Oh, I
is.
can only
I need my
imagine.
coffee. I'm blanking on his last name. Gene was a drummer for Elvis for many, many years. I was hanging out with him in the smoking section,
No, but that's cool.
and I know his last name, but I'm
I can't. I'm
49, and sometimes
blanking
my
right
brain.
now too. It's early morning. We're not like I'm not. No, I'm
Yeah, I
just
haven't
kidding. I'm
finished my
blaming it on the
tinnies yet.
coffee. Exactly. That is crazy because I met Linda just last time at Elvis Week, and it was walking out the doors, and I saw her from Heartbreak or not Heartbreak. I'm used to Heartbreak. Okay, I'm really old too. Heartbreak Hotel, but not Heartbreak Hotel. It's the guest house, and we were walking out, and she was walking right into the door, and I'm like, oh my God, that's her. I can see why Elvis immediately was attracted to her because the way she walked, the way she held herself, the way
Sure.
she carried her, like I knew that was a mile away. I could have probably seen her on a football field and I would have
Yeah.
recognized her. She's
Okay.
beautiful
Yeah.
internally and outernally. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Gene Christman. Sorry,
Great, there it
just
is. There it
came to me.
is. I want to meet more of his band because I would love to meet more like Jerry, the entourage, but more importantly, the musicians are what spent the real time with him. When I look at Elvis, I look at Elvis as like these are the musicians that spent the most time with him, that knew him from inside and outside, that knew everything about him and knew his music styles, but yet they don't get enough. They don't get talked about enough. They
Yeah.
really
Well,
don't.
well, last year, or sorry, it wasn't last year. It was at birthday this year. They had Estelle Brown finally come. I don't know why they haven't had her come earlier, but
That would be
um,
incredible to
oh,
see.
it was amazing because they did. It was Estelle Brown, and again, coffee. Someone in these comments will be able to help me. Who
Yes.
else was there? But the guy from honestly, I know these things. I'm just
No,
terrible
you're
on the spot.
fine. No, you're fine.
I'm
But this
horrible on the
is
spot. I'm always worried that someone's going to give me trivia because then I sound
oh
like
no,
I don't know everything.
I
But I do.
no, hey,
I'm just
you know
old. And my brain doesn't
no,
remember names. But anyways, they had
hey.
a bunch of people who sang with Elvis stand around the piano and do
Wow.
like gospel songs together. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house. And then Estelle was at the guest house after. I got to meet her. A lot of people got to meet her. She was talking to everyone, and it was really beautiful. And I think it had such positive response because apparently she's on the schedule for Elvis Week. So I'm really pleased. I can't wait to see her again. So you'll get a
Wow.
chance.
That
Yeah.
would be cool to see because I don't know if I'm going to get down there this time, but hopefully I can get down there. I hope I can get down there to see that. I've never seen anybody of the musicians. I really wanted to because my grandma and grandpa knew J.D. Sumner. That was it. And they
Oh yeah.
passed away a long, 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 long time ago already. And they loved J.D. They said he was the sweetest, he was the most down to earth person who loved Elvis and stuck up for Elvis all the way. But I would have loved to know what he would have been like too because J.D. seems very caught up not only in the real world but also the Christian world where he's living in both worlds and put together into one big world and that makes JD Sumner because he used to play with the what are their names?
Damn.
The Gaithers, and if you know what they are, the Gaithers, which is a big trio over here, and he used to play with them, and my
Oh yeah.
grandma and grandpa used to come and see them all the time play in St. Louis, and that's how they got acquainted with J.D. Sumner, and I love, love, love that because Elvis really needs to have his singers and backup singers explore more because they have a story that they're just
Oh
gonna
yeah.
die with. They're just gonna die with that story, you know it, and I'm like. Tell us more. Tell us more. Write a book. Write a book.
Yeah.
Have family tell us. Because I like how Charlie's wife did it with his book. You know what I mean? Like Charlie Hodge's book is written by like a his wife as well, putting it out as well. I believe. Doesn't she sign off on it, or who else am I
I'm not
thinking of? I think.
sure. I haven't actually read
Well,
Charlie's book. There's
think
a
I think
lot of
his
books
wife
on
signed.
my list. I've read some, but
Yes.
I haven't read
I
that
think it
many.
was his wife on there who signed off on it, who helped get his book out there and get ready for more people to read. And I'm like, why doesn't other partners people do this? Because I really would love to know other, like Estelle. You know, she's got
Yeah.
stories. Why wouldn't she talk at Elvis Week? Like, you know how
Well, she
Ginger
did.
does,
She
or
they did
she did?
and well, and they also they inducted her in. Well, it wasn't Elvis Week. Sorry, I keep mixing him up. It was
Oh yeah.
birthday, but they also inducted her into that the Graceland Hall of Fame thingy
Oh
that they have.
really?
Yeah,
See, I
so they
never
had
knew
they,
any of this.
yeah, it was great. They had her family was there, and again, not a dry in the house. Everybody was crying. She could still sing so beautifully, and it
Yes.
was yeah. They really they honored her, and she was in quite a few things that birthday. So, and there were like I said, the response like I think everyone loved seeing her, and people were like, "Why has Estelle not been invited to Elvis Week before?"
Yeah.
So she is coming
I
back
am
for this Elvis. So.
so excited. I love her. I love that story. I really do. I absolutely love that story. She's
The Sweet Inspiration spent so much
yes,
time with
they
him, and not only that, like they have a story on their own right. Like if you delve into some Sweet Inspirations tunes, they've got great tunes of their own.
yes. Well, it's ironic that people would say, "Oh, why would he use the black singers? Why would he use them?" Are you kidding me? They're just like people too. They're just like Elvis. They're just like everybody. They sing just as good as anybody can, and Elvis didn't have to defend a lot of people besides that one person who said you can't bring them into Texas. I think it was Texas, right, or somewhere where he
Right?
said you
Yeah, I
have to leave them at
remember
home.
hearing a story like
That's
that. Yeah.
not right. You don't do that. And Elvis knew that. He's like, no, this is not happening. I'm bringing my girls with me, and you're gonna deal with it. And I love that because he didn't see color. He did not see color. He saw like gray, black, and white. It was mixed in between, and I love that about him because his roots not only from Tupelo, but like Johnny Cash from Arkansas. The roots die deep within them, right? Or like lie deep within them because Johnny Cash had a thing for a lot of black singers, and so did Elvis, and so does a lot of other people who are from the South. And I love that. Being not originally from the South, I moved to the South. I'm so excited to learn the culture that we have like yet to explore. I'm just rambling on
No,
when
I
I
love
get
your
talking.
enthusiasm. It's great. Like I
When
watched
I
some of
get
your
talking,
videos, and I love listening to you talk. You're very enthusiastic, very passionate about Elvis. I love it.
I do. I don't know where else it comes from besides just the deep love of Elvis and like I geek out because I'm such a geek about when it comes to Elvis stuff. But when I saw the tiny stuff that made me think that there is something best within you, can is there any way you have something you should show
I
us?
mean,
Because I have got to
my
show and
one of my latest pieces I just finished was the pool table. I don't know
see
if you can
show
see.
people. Look at
That's
this.
my tiny pool table. This is actually a tiny bit too big, but it works. It's only a
Are you
tiny bit too big.
you
But yeah,
making little tiny stuff for that like the
of
little balls?
course. Yes, there'll be a little. And there's actually you probably can't see it from here, but I did put the little
Oh,
trick
you got a
shot.
scratch?
There is
Yes,
a
they
trick
got the
shot
scratch.
scratch on there. And
I love
everything I make for Tiny Graceland is 100% from
is
scratch by hand.
100% real,
This one's made of
100% real.
wood, clay, felt, cereal boxes on the sides that I
So
painted.
you just use everyday items that make you to that turn into something beautiful.
Here's one of the chairs from the corner of the pool room. That's wood, and I ended
Oh,
up making the cushions out of clay because they were too small to make out of real
oh my
fabric. Sometimes I use real fabric.
goodness.
So my God. And pool room is a work in
Have
progress.
so how many rooms have you made so far? How many have you made so far out of this house?
Unfortunately, the back there they're pretty messy right now because I just
No, I
moved
know.
it recently. But we finished the living room, Gladys's bedroom, and ensuite. The foyer. Actually, the foyer still needs two more chandeliers. I have the one chandelier. I haven't done the one on the stairs yet. Chandeliers are the hardest thing to make, and they take a long time, so
Yeah.
I put them off. But the foyer is almost done, except for the chandelier. The dining room is almost done except for the little silver things that go in the cabinets.
Yeah.
I haven't finished those. Sometimes I bounce around from room to room. The kitchen's almost done except for the little tiny things that go in every cabinet. And the fridge, I haven't filled up the fridge with little foods yet.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
music room is done. That's the first one I did. I actually brought it with me to birthday, which was really fun because it's designed in movable sections. You can
Okay,
see the
so
middle
you
there
can
doesn't have a
take.
roof yet. That's a section, and then these two move out, and the music room is its own section. And yeah, so that's done. And I haven't
Wow.
done the jungle room will be its own section. I'm saving that for last. Right now I'm working on the basement, so I finished the TV room, but it's a mess right now. And working on the pool room and then that whole house will go on top of this, and I'll build out some of the landscape. So there's still much to do, but
That is so cool. That is like I just am I'm enthralled about how tiny this is because tiny Graceland needs to get out there a lot more. If you guys do not follow her, please
yeah,
follow this girl.
sorry I
She's
can't really show you much of this, but if you go to my Instagram, there's lots and lots of
there
pictures of
and
it.
there is, and she has a lot of pictures of a lot of stuff, and I love her little tiny stuff decors. Like my favorite one that you did was I believe it was Elvis's bedroom or not Elvis's bedroom, Gladys's room, and you put even the little tiny stuff in there. Did you take a picture of like her little dresser compared to her the regular dresser size,
Oh yeah,
or was
yeah.
that not? Is that what that was? I don't know if that's what I saw, but I think it was you compare most items to the big items. Like
I
for
don't
instance,
tend to put reference shots on my
you
things. I
don't.
think
I thought you did
no, and
once.
I kind of purposely because I thought if people are coming here, because I have some people come to my page for Elvis and they're probably familiar with
Yes.
Graceland already. But I also have like, there's also like, I'm lucky enough to kind of be able to straddle two communities because there's also a lot
Yes.
of miniature mini makers and that kind of thing. And I kind of wanted to like encourage people to Google the real ones, you know what I mean? So if they're like, whoa, this room is crazy, and then they can Google
Well,
Graceland, and that
maybe
way
I
that
saw
it'll
something
expose
that you
them to the
did.
real thing. On occasion, I think once or twice I've probably put
I
up a
think you
reference,
did it
but
like once,
generally speaking, I don't.
and was okay. Then maybe it's not Gladys. Was it in the? I swore you brought something, and maybe it was the jungle room or not the jungle room downstairs.
Oh, do you
With
mean when I bring it to the real Graceland? I do that.
yes,
Yes, yes, a few
yes,
times.
that's
Every
what I
time I go
meant.
down now, I bring my minis, a few
That's
of
what
them
I
with
meant.
me, whatever
Okay.
is easily transportable. Yes, that I love to do. That's been like such a fun thing for me. So like I take, for example, the couch in the living room, and then when I'm on my tour, I take it. People think I'm crazy because I'm
Yes,
holding up minis and taking pictures of it with
that's
the
what I
real
thought. I was
house.
like, I
Yeah, sorry, I
saw.
didn't know what you
No, no,
meant.
I'm sorry. I
But
didn't describe it
yeah,
right, but
I love doing that. I would bring
I
more,
re
but some things are quite
yeah.
fragile. So made a chair, but it's too big. Wah wah.
Oh,
But where'd
it's
it
too
go?
big.
I don't know where I put it actually.
Want, want. I like
Um,
how you did that. Want, want. I
Yeah,
love
well,
that.
that happens a lot because I actually I've never made anything miniature before in my life before I started this, so I really don't know
Really,
what I'm doing. So there's a lot of trial and error. So
and that's
I actually
understandable.
had this idea because I have a bunch of like little things that didn't quite work. They're like too big or too small, but
Yeah.
on their own they're still pretty cute. They just don't fit in my house. So I have like a whole tin of not didn't work. And I was thinking I had this idea for Elvis Week that I might bring some little minis. Tell me if you think this is and like maybe hide them around Graceland and then like give people some clues and if you find it you can have it.
I mean, I
I
would
just
go
thought
for
of that the
it.
other
I don't.
day. That'd be fun,
That would
right?
be incredible. I would love to have something miniature of Elvis's. So, adding on to that, do you do miniature suits yet?
No, I have
Oh,
not. I'm not really good at sewing. Like at least not at that scale. It's so tiny.
because how are you gonna do the racquetball room? Are you gonna do it like the regular? Or are you gonna do it with the stuff in it? Or, like I don't know how long you've been to Graceland, but they used to have the suits and awards in the racquetball
Oh
room.
yeah, yeah. That was eons ago though. They haven't had that in a while.
That's the last time I've been.
Oh
Okay, so
really?
that's like
Yeah, no, that was
yes.
before the big
And
complex because they moved
see,
all
I
that
have
stuff to the complex.
never been there.
Oh, that's
No,
exciting.
I haven't been, and I need
Yeah,
to
you got to go see
be.
the well newish. I think it's been there since 2018 now, but
Isn't there a wall
the
too that
jumpsuit
people keep
display now
telling
is
me?
amazing. It's so great. Like
Yeah.
it's it's just mind blowing. And they just moved it around recently because I'm sure you've seen it pictures of it. Like it's the tower of jumpsuits, a
Yes.
wall of jumpsuits. So they just recently apparently brought some of the ones that were on the top down and put some new ones in. So I'm super excited to see that in August.
Oh shit, sorry. That was not the cat is gonna I knew she was gonna do that. Sorry, y'all. I swear she makes an appearance once at every interview. I don't know if how many of you watched these, but all four interviews my cat usually jumps up behind me, but
Love
now
it.
she decided to run under the table and kind of like, hey, I'm gonna knock over some shit. It's okay. We're good. This interview's already been goofy, but we I love this and it
Sorry.
doesn't matter. It's not really an interview, it's how I always like to have it, is I always
It's
like
a
to just
coffee
have
chat.
general
We're chatting over some
exactly.
coffee. I
Just
know.
having some coffee
Yeah.
and a cat is what we have on my side. Somebody came to me and said, for our Sunday morning coffee chats, you need to do your intro. Allie was one of them. I love this beautiful girl. She came to me and said, I need to incorporate my cat into my intro. I
Oh, that's
said,
cute.
how am I going to do an intro? She goes, do like an evening with Laura, or Sunday morning coffee chats with your host Lauren, and a coffee and some cat hair. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's funny.
I think I need to add that into my like little slogan in the beginning, like coffee, cats, and cat hair. I'm a crazy cat lady too. That's
I,
just me. But no,
I
I
don't think I could
absolutely
have a cat. If I had a cat, this would probably
yes.
be.
Yes, going to Graceland. What is your favorite room in the house?
Historically, it's always been the jungle room because I mean, how could it not be? It's got shag carpet on the walls and ceiling, but
Yes.
and I love Polynesian style and everything. But lately, the last few times I've been back, I've really been falling in love with the TV room. So I'm kind of they're kind of neck and neck. But if I had a gun to my head, it'd be the jungle room.
The jungle room? Well, you would appreciate this then. Back in high school, I had to design a room, and it was just one single room. It wasn't like everything else, but then I decided everybody in my class was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do my like my bedroom, blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff." I decided to do Elvis's TV room, and
Ooh.
I designed it specifically down to the little scale. I even had a picture. I used to keep all this stuff. I never kept it. I don't know why I didn't keep all this. Afterwards, we had to like show and tell our favorite about like our favorite room and why. Well, I'm the only geek up there going, here's my TV room. It's not mine, but it's Elvis's. And I'm just like explaining all about it. And people think I'm nuts already.
Do
But
you have
I
pictures of it at all?
don't, and I
Uh,
cannot believe I should I need well maybe I do I don't know I'm gonna dig now that this is Coffee Talk has opened my mind about finding my little stuff, my collectibles, finding new things, even finding this at a recent garage sale. I mean, I'm finding so much more of
oh,
my Elvis stuff that I have not found yet,
oh,
so
there's
you never
so
know.
much out there, enough to fill many, many houses. So.
And a little miniature house, right? And mini houses. I love how you're doing the scale. Are you even doing the pictures too down to scale, like the blonde picture by the step and Lisa and Marie and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
The pictures I print.
Oh,
I
you
That's the
print.
one
Okay.
thing, like, because they're
Yeah.
literally like this
Well, yeah.
big, and I do not have the talent to paint
Oh, okay.
photorealistic
No, that makes
pictures
sense.
at that size.
No, that makes
So yeah,
sense.
I print those. So, I mean, I do have to do a certain amount of Photoshop work on them
Yeah.
because there's certain ones where you know you don't have a flat angle. So, but I used to be a wedding photographer for a little while, so I've got pretty
Me
mad
too.
Photoshop
Hey,
skills. Oh
we.
no way!
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes I have to change the perspective or like fix some glare from because I have to take pictures of it and then
Yes.
scale it and all that. But yeah, those I do print. There's I if you can find me someone who could photorealism paint Elvis at this size, I bow down to them.
I love that though. But how? What was the first part? What was the first room that you started
I
on?
did the
Was it the
music room first just because
music
it's its own
bedroom?
section, so I thought
Yeah,
it's a little small thing. If I'm really
you can
crappy at
take
it or if
it.
I hate it, I'll just stop. So I did the music room first, although I just recently, because I took the music room down to Memphis with me and to Florida.
Yeah.
Started because I took it to Florida because Dwight Eisenhower
Yes.
and his lovely wife Vicky invited me to go to their VIP weekend and bring my music room,
Wow.
which was a wonderful experience. Dwight Eisenhower is an incredible ETA. If you don't know him, check him out. His wife Vicky is just the most amazing, sweetest, lovely lady
Yes.
in the whole world, and they both are. And that was a wonderful experience. But then I took it to Graceland after that. Anyway, the point is, I just recently redid the whole music room because it was
Really?
the first thing I did 4 years ago, and my skills have gotten better as I go along. So I remade almost everything in there. So it got a
You made
makeover.
a little piano too and everything?
Yeah. Oh, it's the piano's still in a box because I do. Actually, what do you know? It's right here.
Are
It's in a
you kidding
box.
me? She has the piano. I gotta see this because I'm like,
Okay.
how do you?
Hopefully, it's still in one piece because this is still packed up. I haven't actually unpacked. I had no reason really to unpack the music room since I got back
Yeah,
from birthday.
no.
So
I mean, I would just keep it and I would be ready to have it like going
here
with
it
me
is.
wherever I go
Oh,
to
it's
Graceland.
looks like it's still in one piece. Oh no, we have a small.
Isn't there like little miniature like pianos you could have bought? But do you want it? Did you
Oh
want to like
no.
actually?
We don't
No,
buy things for Tiny Graceland. We make everything 100% from
I
scratch by
love
hand.
it.
No 3D printers, no
Awesome,
laser printers, no power tools. Everything is made 100% by hand, except, like I said, I print
awesome.
out those
Well,
pictures.
yeah.
So that's not possible. It looks like we had a wee mishap with the piano, and these things have broken off in packaging. But I will put them back on. But
God,
the
that's
piano's
so
made out
tiny.
of he's made out of cereal boxes and wood and beads for the bottom, and he did have a little the pedals, but the pedals have fallen off. I'll have to put that
Oh
on.
my God, that
That's
is
tiny
adorable.
piano.
I love it. See, I did not know that because I'm not in the the miniature community has so much, like, all I know is my niece's little miniature food things that those little food balls that you get at the miniature collections, and those little food things are down to detail. So I can only
Yeah,
imagine you doing that by hand and putting all
yeah.
that together. No, no, wow.
3D printing, it takes design
Yes.
talent for sure, and a whole other set of skills that I know
Yes.
nothing about. I'm not necessarily poo-pooing 3D printing,
Yeah.
but I don't know. To me, it was just important that I make it by hand. It just feels
Yes.
more immediate to me than. But it certainly, I don't want to say it'd be easier to 3D print stuff because I know, like I said, there is a skill set, of course, which I know nothing about, so I couldn't 3D print it, but it certainly would be faster. I'd probably be done by now if I 3D printed everything.
I didn't think about that. You could have, but I don't know. I like the fact how you do it all by hand though. That's what's really cool is because
To
it
me,
can
that's where
also
the love. I'm putting the
yes,
love in there.
there you go. You put the love in, yeah, by doing it and by making it. It's just so cool how tiny that stuff is. Like, I mean, I can only imagine. I'm looking at the windows back there. You got a lot of like
It's
the.
tiny. It's pretty far away, but that's how small they are.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness! So it's
each
not even
room is
like
about 4.5 inches tall inside.
wow.
So yeah, the whole house from like floor to the top of the roof there is 16 inches, and then of course it'll be raised on top of the basement, which I still have to do. So it'll be a little taller than 16 inches, but it's 1/24 scale, so it's half the size of a conventional dollhouse.
Really?
Yeah, and I chose that scale simply because I live in a tiny box of an apartment and I don't have any space.
Hey, I used to live in nothing but just like it felt like a closet. Like it was so tiny. Like it where I was living in the city, it's ridiculous. I would not want to do that. But that is tiny and adorable. I absolutely love it. We got to have more of this tiny Graceland stuff. I have got to see more down the line. You got to have more stuff coming. I bet you're gonna do other Graceland
Oh,
stuff, aren't you?
totally.
Like the
Yeah, I'll
barns.
basically be doing this forever. Like I got to finish
Yes.
Graceland, then I want to do the red, like 70s boudoir Graceland. I want to do the 50s blue. I want
You
to do
gonna
Christmas at
do the
some point.
Christmases?
Got to do
Yes,
that.
Christmas.
And that's just Graceland. Like, and I still have the outbuildings to do. I want to do like I'd love to do the Audubon House. I'd love to do the Honeymoon Hideaway would be amazing.
That would be
The
cool.
Palm Springs House. There's so many. Like I literally have a list. I also I'm always trying to skip away to other things, but I forgot. I started an Instagram like a year ago called Tiny Cocoa Palms because I really want to make
What?
the that's technically gonna be my next project is Coco Palms Resort, where Elvis and
Yep.
Priscilla used to vacation, where they shot some of Blue Hawaii,
Yep.
which unfortunately no longer exists because of the hurricane in '92. But
Yep.
there's tons of pictures. I've been doing tons of research on it. So I started an Instagram for that. And if you're interested in Coco Palms at all,
There you
it's
go.
just research right now. There's tons of research on there. And then eventually, it's just funny because the bio was like coming soon in summer 2024, and then it was like summer 2025, and now I think it just says coming soon because I don't know when I'm actually going to get to that, but I will be making tiny cocoa palms at some point.
I would love to see a tiny Tupelo. You got to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
The tiny Tupelo. I want to see how you're going to deck out the house. Are you going to make it fancy? You're going to make it just plain Jane how it
Well, of
was?
course
I
you
can
can
only imagine.
you can see a miniature birthplace house at Graceland itself in Vernon's
I
office.
forgot about that. See,
Yeah,
I didn't look. I didn't go.
yeah.
I did not see. I didn't see that. Next time I go back to Tupelo, I'm gonna look for that tiny little Tupelo. But I want. We gotta have you make one. We gotta have you make a tiny
It's on the
one.
list for
There
sure,
you
for
go.
sure.
And then you can do the International Hotel.
Yeah, ooh, that'd be fun. That I might even make at a smaller scale, like because you probably just do the outside, because
Yeah.
nobody's building
Well,
like 1,000 hotel
you gotta do the
rooms.
entertainment area. You gotta do the
Yes,
entertainment
yeah,
area.
yeah.
Yes. You could do a whole stage and a whole back behind
Ooh,
the
a
stage.
stage would be fun with like working lights,
Yes.
because I do like to put working things in whenever I can. Like the TVs in my TV room all
Really.
work. I have a remote for them. I programmed them. That's on my Instagram. It's kind of buried. I should maybe pin it because it's one of my favorite
I'd love to.
things.
I gotta see that. I
But yeah,
really
they work.
do.
And I program them with shows that Elvis used to watch. So one of them has Johnny Carson on it. One's got
Yes.
Woody Woodpecker, which apparently he used to watch, and one of them is Wild West.
But I love seeing this because I forget how like miniature tiny stuff is gonna how long it's gonna take, right? Like this takes a good. Well, how long does it take for you to do this? Is it like
I mean, it totally depends on the thing. Like
okay?
the chair I just posted, that took me
Yeah.
2 days, and
Oh,
it's too
really?
big, so I have to start again. So like, yeah, it
Okay.
totally depends on the. And also, there's just like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, so like there's time, so much trial and error. Like, what am I gonna make this out of? And then you try one thing, and you're like, no, this doesn't work. Like, plus, I have had a day job this whole time, so like, although I'm currently unemployed,
Holy
but
cow! I
yeah, so
give
it's
you
not, I'm
full
not working on
credit.
it like all the time,
I give you full
but.
credit for doing a full-time job and doing great little miniature Graceland. That's just mind-blowing. But us Elvis fans do what we gotta do for the man,
That's
right? Like
right.
I have heard this is why Sunday morning coffee talks are a thing because these artists and people who are just dedicating their lives, like Lorraine, who dedicated her entire book to Elvis and his jumpsuits and styling them, and she went down there and studied them. And I'm like, it's the people who actually take time and come over here and study. It's not like, somebody from Memphis is doing it. Somebody's actually coming over and studying him. And you're doing that as well. I mean, yes, you live in Canada, which is technically kind of hard of friends, with the US, but you're not all the way across the world like in the UK, where some of these people fly, or Argentina or Germany. I mean, that's just incredible. Elvis has gotten so incredibly huge over the last since the movie came out. I'm guessing you saw the
I
movie,
did, yeah.
right?
I loved it. I was very excited when I heard it was coming out because I have been a fan of Baz Luhrmann anyway.
See,
Like I love his movies and I
yes.
love Elvis, and I was like, what an amazing combination that's going to be.
Well, it's
And
the Moulin Rouge
lo
is
and
about
behold, it
the
was.
girl.
Yeah. I saw it
It's
3 days in a row when it opened. Like the first day it opened, the second and third day, and then the fourth day I was like sad that I missed it.
that is see, I
I
saw it
loved
around
it.
my
It's
birthday.
brilliant.
I had to go back many, many times because I saw it around my birthday, and I had to go back. I went back at least three times in theaters, and I ended up buying the dang thing because I had to watch it over and over again. You could do
Yeah, I have
that.
it too.
You could also do a movie set from the
Yeah,
movie if you ever think about
yeah,
it. Like you could
totally.
do the '68 special. I could see you pulling that
Oh, that
off.
would be a good one. I don't think I have that on my million long list. I gotta add that. That would
Well,
be a
just
good one. Because you
like
could
the
put little
stage.
LED lights like in the
Yes.
stage. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
That's a
so
good
I'm
one.
I'm geeking out now officially because when I was younger, I used to have remember American Girl Doll came out with the miniatures, the like miniature apartment rooms and miniature diners and stuff like that. I had that in this is why it's so cool that I love many things and so do you. Because I actually had these they now I have pictures of this. I might just send you these pictures. But they were miniature little apartment sets where one was a restaurant and the up above was a room that the American Girl dolls could live in, and they were only this big. They were like the what are those one dolls that we have now, Diva or whatever, those now. It was beginning of that, and they were only this big, and the stuff was so cool, and I loved playing with it, but it was an apartment, and they used to have those little LED lights that you could turn on the lights
Okay.
in the place. So think about that when you're doing maybe like a '68 special. That'd be
That
cool to
would be
have the
cool.
lights on the stage, like those mini lights. You could get like a strip of them and turn them
Oh
on. I
yeah.
don't know. Get the guitars sitting there with the
Ooh,
chairs and all
I
that
like
kind
that.
of
I
stuff.
like that. Yeah.
You got to get a whole thing. Girl, get me behind some of this stuff. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm afraid you're gonna have to. It'll take a while before I get
No,
there.
I'm just
Like,
teasing.
I have a ton of ideas too for what I'm gonna do with even with Tiny
Yeah.
Graceland when it's finished. Like I have ideas for scenes and stuff like that. So, but like little tableaus and
That
stuff.
would be
Yeah.
cool, and you could take those places. I could see them being taken places. Like you could take little
Oh, I could take the whole thing too. It comes apart in different sections. It's drivable. That's my goal when it is finished. I want to take it on a little tour
that would be cool. But maybe
so
a
people
little
can see
tour.
it in
I'm
person.
gonna go.
Because
I want to go see
I
this.
think
I'm coming.
people I don't think realize just how small it is. Like even when I show you
Yeah,
here, it's hard to
and
really figure it out until you see it in person. And in person, it really is a lot smaller than most people think it is. So that's
well,
why
it's
I would
crazy
love for
because
people to see it.
you said it wasn't even as tall as your hand. Like just showing the window. I mean, like you like what you just like half of your hand. Is that how big the windows
Uh,
are?
the windows are probably well. I mean, the room itself is 4.5 inches, so
Four and a half
so
inches. So
yeah, it's probably like 2.5 inches tall. I think
holy
it's
cow! Now
big.
that is
Yeah.
tiny and itty bitty, but it's cute and tiny. And here comes the corporate right now. The little tiny. This little girl is coming back in here again. I have a kitty cat, you guys. You can't see her on the screen, but she's had to come over here, you guys. We have a kitty cat that says
Aw,
hi every single time.
cutie.
every single time I'm doing my Sunday morning coffee talk. We have a kitty cat. But you guys, this interview was absolutely fun and incredible. We could talk for hours as
I'm
we
sure we
usually
did.
do.
Yeah.
You guys, I talk too much. I know
Oh no.
that. My,
Oh, me too. I'm a huge chatter. No, it's been great talking to you.
I appreciate you doing this Sunday morning coffee chat. You're gonna have to come back. We always
Anytime.
ask once.
Thanks for asking me to come. I've had a. It's a nice way to have my morning coffee.
That's it. You gotta have morning coffee and on me and talk about Elvis. I mean, what better way to start your morning?
Right?
But we always ask one staple question, which is, what is your TCB of the day? Now, this is no trivia, but this is something that you doing tiny things, you're taking care of business would be maybe like, I don't know, making tiny things to like please other people, to show them what I can do, creativity side. What is your TCB that you take away for life?
Oh, geez. I your TCB that you take away. I don't be kind to people. Can I? Is that a taking care of business? I like being kind, and I think everyone should do it.
That's it. There you go. That's your TCV of the day. Where can they find you? Where can they follow you
Uh,
at? Let people know. This
at
is
TinyGraceland, I'm Instagram's my main platform. I post there the most. I do have at TinyGraceland on Facebook and TikTok
yeah.
as well, but I tend to just post there if I have like a milestone, like if I finish a whole room and I got a video of it, I'll usually put it on those too. But for the most part, I mostly post on Instagram, posting all the time on Instagram stories, Instagram, regular main page. But yeah, that's where you can find me, Tiny
Awesome.
Graceland.
Awesome. Well, definitely have to keep up with you for sure because I absolutely love the tiny Graceland and miniature stuff, and I'm definitely getting you at my pictures to show you some of those
Yeah,
things because
please.
I can't
Send me.
believe. Thank you guys so much for coming in again today. We are gonna get out of here, and again, thank you for swinging in here and
Of course,
Heidi and
thank you.
having a great interview with us, and just having a cup of coffee on me as well. So I appreciate it.
All
Okay. Well,
right,
we're
thank you
gonna
so much, Lauren. It was great chatting with you.
nice talking with you. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna hang you up, and we're gonna get ready to say thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We're gonna get out of here with Elvis.